Hello, and welcome to another episode of The Fulcrum. I am Ryan Dunn here today with Paul Logan. With a myriad of legislative activity happening, we are going to spend a few minutes just giving you kind of an update of what is going on in the General Assembly. And Virginia is known for being a very fast legislature, actually one of the fastest in the country. So we have been very busy with a lot of activity, and I know all of our members have received quite a bit of updates from us as well. So be on the lookout as we will have more. But Paul, want to just kick it off with you. What in the world is going on at the General Assembly?
Well, it's as always, it's been a very busy General Assembly session. Virginia has the fastest in the country, and we have really been seeing that as things either race forward or in some cases have come to abrupt halts. The VDA had an extensive legislative agenda, both of several measures that we were concerned about and their impact on oral health care, as well as some very important proactive workforce bills and budget requests that we're supporting. So starting with the bills that have not advanced, House Bill 537 would have required the Board of Health to include a prohibition on fluoridation in water. That has been tabled for the year. And thank you to many of our members who have been advocates. Some of these bills in other states have moved forward and are going to be causing real problems for the public health in those areas. Thankfully, this was one that in this case did not move forward, but it's something that we can expect and we'll be watching for.
Yeah, it's not going away anytime soon. And I think what you said is accurate. And I think sometimes we are so effective in Virginia that it can be overlooked. And that bill really never got going and never had any real threat of passing. And that's not by accident, right? None of these things happen by accident. And so we will stand vigilant to make sure that that stays in that corner as it should. So,
and another bill, Senator Stanley had Senate Bill 99 that would have eliminated the medical malpractice cap for cases in which a patient is less than 10 years of age in Virginia. This is one we have seen before that we had an action alert. Thank you to our members who helped legislators understand the impact this would have had. One that we can expect to come up again in the future. But for this year, that has been tabled and financed and will not be moving forward.
Exactly.
We had several budget asks, and the way the budget process works, many of those decisions are made toward the end of session, as legislators race to get through more than 1,000 bills.
Right. All those bills have impacts on the budget. Correct. So the budget process, while yes, it has started, and the governor put out his budget as he was leaving, and then you have a new governor coming in, but all those bills that get tagged with a fiscal impact statement, they get sent to finance, where they have to catalog them basically to say, well, this is a priority, this is not, because Virginia has a balanced budget amendment. So we have to have a balanced budget in Virginia. So therefore, they got to work their way through some of these bills, right? And part of the problem with Stanley's MedMal increase bill was it had a fiscal impact statement, right? It had an impact on public employees.
Seven-figure
fiscal impact, right? So things start going away, bills start dying, people start saying, yeah, that's a good idea, but reality is that's going to cost a whole lot of money. And the state doesn't have a whole lot of extra money right now. They have huge Medicaid shortfall that they've got to find money for. And we're trying to, at the same time, make sure dental's not losing its benefit or impacted in a negative manner. So another thing to just be vigilant of. The understanding how it all intertwines and the system works is difficult because the financial side of it makes it very hard. I'm thankful and grateful, and everyone should be, that we have a balanced budget amendment here in Virginia. That makes us a very strong, great place to do business. The government has its checks and balances. But at the same time, here we are asking for some very reasonable things, including some support for a dental hygiene program in the Virginia Community College system that has closed its doors, and we're trying to help them get their doors back open. And the term that is used often is budget dust. because $500,000 inside of the massive budget that is in Virginia is just that. It is budget dust.
No shortage of people who are interested in that budget dust going toward their
Would
program.
love to have 500,000 be dust, but that's what we're up against. It is, everything is scrutinized and every dollar is evaluated that is being spent, because there are a lot of ideas and a lot of priorities, and a lot of them, some of them, maybe half of them are actually good ideas. And the idea to fund a program as successful as the Virginia Peninsula Community College system, to get that back up and running, is something, and we're going to bat for that in the budget.
That's right. And so just for a quick overview of where those budget items are, we have the VCCS, the Virginia Community College System, has requested $30 million in the budget to support the expansion of high-cost CTE programs, including dental hygiene. We also have budget amendments from Senator Todd Pillion, Delegate Rodney Willett, to support a state match for private funds raised in supporting the expansion of those dental hygiene programs in Virginia. We also have funding for the VCU School of Dentistry and for the next phase in their new facilities. That was included in the governor's budget. So there isn't a specific budget amendment, but that's something we're asking to remain in the budget because it's a priority for our members. Governor Youngkin's budget included cuts to Virginia's dental Medicaid benefit that would have capped adult dental services at $2,000 a year. That's something we opposed. Delegate Rodney Willett has a budget amendment and that would remove those cuts, and we are supporting that budget amendment.
Yeah, exactly. Every dollar is scrutinized, and we do need to get creative to close the budget gap. But we really don't want to see our Medicaid dental benefit go backwards. And by putting the arbitrary $2,000 cap on it, really would be dictating how the healthcare is delivered. And now you're going to be back into pulling teeth instead of restorative, preventative care. So we're advocating hard for that. I think we have a majority who agree with us on that policy. But again, you just can't take a rest on it. You can't rest on, this is a great idea. Can't you see this? Because that list is long. And for every one of us that's down at the General Assembly saying, don't cut us, there's 100 others saying, hey, don't cut us. Don't touch our budget.
No, that's right. And requests that are good requests and have merit and would make an impact get left out of the budget every year because they have to balance it and they have to make tough decisions.
Talking about the budget, right, and advocating for increased funding for these hygiene programs, for a new dental school, this is a long work in progress, right? January 2024, we released our workforce study that Dr. Cindy Southern had shared when she was president of the Dental Association. So we have put in a lot of work, right, on expanding funding at the Virginia Community College System, trying to bring on new hygiene programs, specifically Fortis, right, in Richmond. And we're super grateful and excited about them coming online very quickly. We've really tried. We've had conversations with other universities that don't even have a dental or a hygiene program about how great it would be if they did, because we know we need more hygienists in the Commonwealth. And that's not changing, nor is that something that we're doing in place of, right? I mean, we're trying our best to have a short-term, long-term, every point of view taken into this, right? And so along this process, though, we've made some strides in budget and other items, but the leadership wanted to try and advance some things that could make a difference immediately, not in place of anything or anyone in the team, but part of what we've seen and an exhaustive look across the country led to two pieces of legislation that the VDA is supporting, and I will say are measured approaches to solving an actual problem, right? And so how are the bills doing in the General Assembly? They're being pretty successful, aren't they?
Yes, and I think what we've seen is legislators understand that this is a real problem and one they're hearing about from their constituents in terms of being able to access timely dental appointments. And They also look at these bills, as you said, and said these are measured approaches that can give dental practices real tools to help meet that need. The first, allowing skilled international providers a process to apply for dental hygiene licensure with the Board of Dentistry. The legislation has a number of safeguards, including they are applying to the Board of Dentistry. The Board of Dentistry can review their credentials and say this meets the standards to which we can grant you a license, or review their credentials, experience, and say this does not meet our standards. But it gives the board discretion. And we've heard so many stories from experienced dentists who came from other countries, some of whom have practiced hygiene in other states that allow this, and who are now working in a role that only utilizes a small portion of their professional skills. This is a bill that allows them a pathway to do that in Virginia. We have internationally educated dentists who are serving as faculty members at VCU. Right. But they could not practice hygiene outside of the school today in Virginia.
And didn't CODA just allow foreign-trained dentists to teach hygiene programs?
Yes. They could be eligible to serve as faculty at a hygiene program, but not eligible to receive a license to practice hygiene in Virginia.
That seems like an inconsistency, right? I mean, just on the surface.
Taking a 10,000-foot view of that bill, that is something that would allow people who are currently part of the dental workforce, who have been educated to do more, to be able to do more for patient care that's within their education. And the other bill that has also moved forward is developing the role of dental assistants. It allows experienced dental assistants who are already working in a practice to be able to earn a certificate that allows them to scale super gingivally and polish. This is something that again, is a measured approach. It's not replacing what a hygienist does within the full scope of a dental hygienist, a licensed hygienist, but it allows a dental assistant to do more to support that member of the team. And we know there are many practices in Virginia. My dentist is one of them, who have had appointments where he is doing the hygiene appointment, just because, particularly in the Richmond area and in some other parts of the state, we have shortage where we have a narrow path to licensure, limited seats in the existing education programs. And we are working to address that, but that is going to be a long-term solution to the problem. So this allows a practice to invest in their dental assistants and to allow them to expand their skills.
But it doesn't require them.
But it doesn't require them.
Right? It's very much an optional.
Correct.
This is a big part of this, as it's matriculated through the process, has been nothing changes from a standpoint of who's responsible, right? At the end of the day, the dentist is still the head of the dental team, and the patient is seen under their license, and the dentist is the one who has to approve the work of a hygienist, has to approve the work of a dental assistant, and at the end of the day, the one who's responsible is the dentist. And that remains the same, right? It's to empower the dentist to make the decision as to what is best for them to meet the need of their patients and their community. And so, all that being said, it has been a long road. That this doesn't solve the issue overnight. We still need hygiene schools to be funded. We still need more seats. We know this is an issue. And I talked to my counterpart in North Carolina just yesterday, and they have the same issue, right? Almost the exact same numbers of the shortage as we do, right? So there are challenges, but we will continue to advocate for more investment in hygiene and dental assisting programs across the Commonwealth.
And I will also say we have had such overwhelming support from our membership on both of these issues, and so hundreds of messages that have been sent in through our call to action platform, many more that have been sent directly to their legislators. So thank you to all of the members who have sent that. If you have not yet, this is a key moment in the legislative process to make sure that your legislators do hear from you and understand where you stand on them and why it's important to address these issues.
That's right. Yeah. So we appreciate everybody's attention. we'll continue to bring you updates as the General Assembly goes. Then there's all the workforce and labor related things that are going on that we're following very closely as well, that impact your practice and your human resources related items, that there are no shortage of issues impacting just what it means to run a practice in the Commonwealth. We do appreciate your time, and with that, we will wrap up another episode of The Fulcrum.